Hey everybody, it's Rory from A&S Gear, and we are looking at the FT-50 today from Tippmann. This is their rental version of the FT-12, but redesigned for 50 caliber. So if you've never shot 50 caliber, maybe you've never shot paintball, which is a larger ball, the 68 caliber ball. There's a big trend towards 50 cal. It's less impact, it's less messy, it's easier for kids to run around and enjoy because the pain factor is way less. So when kids are getting involved in the sport, or maybe not even just kids, just maybe people in general are getting involved in the sport, something that is less impact, just as much fun, and a little bit easier to just manipulate and use might be something that will get them hooked and then branch them over into standard 68 caliber paintball. It's like the gateway paintball equipment right there, so to speak. So the FT-12 or FT-50, sorry, is the flip top version of the FT-12, just geared for 50 cal. So it's got the smaller 50 cal barrel on that. We'll go ahead and take this off. You can see how narrow that is. That's for 50 cal paint. We've got the standard 50 cal loader on here. And being such a small loader, you think, well, it's not going to hold that much paint, but this will hold 300 balls in there of the 50 caliber paint. So in a smaller compact size, you'll get more shots than you would out of a standard loader at 68 caliber. So you got that on there. And then of course this is the rental version, so you get the orange grips on side there. So this is a gas through version, so you'd screw your tank on here and we don't have any hoses, so that's one less thing for a potential player to damage or ruin or have to deal with, leak issues, things like that. So the gas is just running straight up through the frame. On the opposite side here, our feed neck assembly, we've got our release for the flip top, which we'll do in just a second, and then our cocking handle right here. So we're going to pull that back and then go ahead and shoot it. Now, on this side, we do have a safety. So if the safety is engaged, the marker will not shoot. Disengage the safety and go ahead and shoot that. Disassembly, super simple. If we needed to take it apart to clean it, this is handy if you were like a field owner and you have to go through these guns and service them often because your clients will beat the crap out of them. It makes it easy to disassemble. You don't need to remove this. On certain versions of Tippmann guns, you had to remove the little cap that's on here. Typically that would be on the side, so that when the two halves of the marker separated, you could get them off of there. Since this whole top half comes off, you can leave that right as it is on there. We're going to take the feed neck off. So we're going to flip the feed neck lever around, and then the feed neck will come straight. Actually, I think it comes out this way. I think I have to take off the front first to do that. So we'll do that in just a second. So I think I need to have the top off. But for getting the front, this twisty part off, you can kind of twist it a little bit, but it locks up on this little tab that's right here. This tab is on a spring, and you need to push the spring down and the tab down, and then you can rotate that off. And then if you come to the next stop and it catches again, you need to do it one more time till you get to the point where you can just unscrew the front of this right off, just like that. Once that front cap is unscrewed, the whole top of the receiver will pop open. Now this is where you would get to all the internals that are inside here. You've got your hammer assembly, your main drive spring, your linkage arm, your bolt, which is inside here, and then your feed tube for your 50 cal paint. So if you broke a ball inside here or just needed to get in there and clean it out, this is how you would get to it and then pull everything out that's on the inside. Now I haven't tried to pull this stuff out yet. Maybe we should give that a whirl. So we'll do that in just a second. We'll see how far we can get without any tools or anything like that. So from here, I flip that lever and I can spin that around, and I think I can still get that off even though it was on there. Having this off though gives me a little bit better leverage so that I can push the feed neck up and pop it out of there. That lets you clean that out. If we need to put it back on, it just slides down into its little groove, and then you rotate that back and it locks the feed neck in place so that you can't push it up and out anymore. All right, let's see where we can go. Pull our linkage arm out, pull our breech assembly out. So we got our breech and our bolt. You can see how small that is. That's to accept the 50 cal paint down inside there. Our ball detent assembly. These will wear over time, so you will need to get in there and replace these every once in a while. Looks like we might need to take the bottom assembly off to get to that. We pull this grip off and that will let us push the detent out the bottom so that it doesn't fall out. So we can't pull it out of the top here. Have to bring it out the bottom. Let's see what else we can get out of here. Here's our hammer assembly, our drive spring, and our spring guide, our bumper O-ring, and our valve assembly does come out like that too. So if we needed to get into our valve assembly and clean that out, we would put a pair of pliers on here and we could unscrew this back end, and then we could unscrew this out of here. I'm not going to remove the valve assembly out. We're going to leave that as it is. It's a little more maintenance than we want to be doing just in a brief little video here. Pretty cool. It's the first time I'm taking this one apart too, so I like to look at things as I take them apart. There is an O-ring that is up inside of this little adapter here, or this connection, which seals this tube right here. So if you ever get a leak, like feels like it's coming out the bottom of your frame right here, check that O-ring that's inside there and make sure it hasn't been damaged or is missing. So I've seen that too. All right, let's go ahead and put this back together. All right. Now this O-ring, we get a lot of calls, and I get a lot of guns that come in because people think this O-ring has like fallen out of some sort of groove that it is supposed to sit in, or it's just floating around the inside of their gun. You see these in the older 98 Customs, A5s, X7s, not the Phenom version, where there's just an O-ring just sitting back here, and it does just float around. It just wiggles around in the back right here. It's basically to create a cushion between the hammer when it moves backwards and the back of the gun. It's just a bumper, it's just a little pad. So it doesn't actually sit anywhere in particular. It's just we're going to just put it just like that. When it moves and does its own thing, it will seat itself in the appropriate position. All right, get that back on there. Everything seems to be good. Our detent's in the right spot. Put our linkage back together. It is important that these two things connect properly, because when this moves back and forth, it's going to move the bolt back and forth with it. If these don't link up together, it's possible that they don't move at all. They get jammed up, or they don't move together, which then makes the gun not work. Let's go ahead and put this back on here. Set this down. Kind of give it a little squeeze as we turn this together. We're just going to go until we hear it click. And then if you can go one more, I always do, give you that extra. That's how you want it to be snug on there. And then we can put our feed neck back on and put our barrel back on. That's a quick little breakdown on the FT-50, the 50 cal version of the FT-12. Flip top, easy maintenance, great for rental setups, great for people just getting involved in the sport. 50 caliber, less impact, larger ammo, a reservoir, I guess you want to call it. Easier to run around and play with the little kids. They don't have to worry about the pain factor as much. And it's just less mess because each little ball has less pain in it. So if you're thinking about picking some up just to get started, check out one of these FT-50s. They're available through the website. Order yours now through ansgear.com.